Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Clef Notes. So in our prior video, we were talking about clef notation, or particularly clef signs. And here you see sort of a blown up view of that. You see our treble clef up here. Let me just label it again so that you've got that. Treble clef. Let's make that in, well, we can leave it in black, and that shows up nicely. Bass clef. Oh, we can also add blue too. Why not? Hey, we can have the whole smorgasbord of stuff here. Alto clef. Don't ask me to spell smorgasbord. So treble clef, bass clef, alto clef. Our tenor clef is down here in the image, but we're going to stick with treble, bass, and alto clef because today we are going to talk about some of the stuff that surrounds a treble clef or a bass clef or any kind of clef sign. And what we're going to be looking at is time signatures. Now, back when Guido di Arezzo was doing his thing there in Europe, writing out clef notation and figuring out the Guidonian hand, which is a whole video in itself that we'll maybe make in the future. But it's a really cool topic. But when he was doing his thing, he didn't have time signatures. And what exactly are time signatures? Time signatures are numbers. They are numbers. Let me write this here. And what they will be, take a slightly smaller font so we can fit that in. Is you might see something like this. See the number 4. Let's increase that font. Number 4. My apologies. We'll keep going. 4. There we go. Okay. 4, 4. So this is what you might see. You'll see a clef sign, and then you'll see this time signature. And what exactly is that? A time signature is an indication for how the note duration is going to work in our piece. So just like we needed a frame of reference for pitches in our music, we need some sort of numerical reference. We need to know, all right, if I write a note like this, how long does it last? You know, I mean, back at the time when Guido di Arezzo was doing this, you didn't know. You just had, it was going to be up to however the leader of the ensemble was going to rehearse you guys doing it. They didn't have conductors like we do today. It was another methodology for leading music. But again, the idea is the same. You know, how long does this note last? This red oval. This actually is called a whole note. Let me put that up there. We'll cover this in the next video, talking about notes and what they mean, just from how they're written. So this is a whole note. How long does this last? Well, the only way we're going to know how long that is supposed to last in relation to any other notes, say for instance we had this note right here, and we're gonna fill that in just like this. Okay, not quite Bob Ross, but hey, it works for our purposes. And we'll do a line right there. Okay, so what is the difference in terms of note length between this note over here and this note over here? The only way we're going to know, other than just looking and saying, okay, and it looks like there's different here. This note on the right has some sort of filled in circle and a line on it, and this note on the left is just an empty circle with no lines. Okay, fair enough. Another way we're really going to know the relationship between whole note and whatever this other note is to our right, which is actually quarter note, but we'll cover that in another video, is via a time signature. Time signatures are basically the golden rule of keeping us honest on how much time we give per note. The time signature has two components. It's got a number on the top and a number in the bottom. The number on the top So up here, top number, not Top Gun, top number, is basically how many beats, how many counts per measure. So we'll say top number equals how many beats per measure. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Top number is how many beats per measure. So remember when I showed you this idea of dividing measures using bar lines? Each of these measures has a certain number of counts, a certain number of beats that have to fit within that measure. And you can use that using a combination, you can accomplish that using a combination of notes and rests. Again, we'll talk about rests. But the idea is simple. We need to have some kind of number that gives us how many counts we need to have per measure. The lower number, right down here. So our lower number equals what, there, we'll drop that down, what note value gets a beat / count. Okay. Apologies, this is a little bit hard to read, but again, the upper number here is how many beats per measure. Our lower number down here is what note value gets a beat. So if we have this measure over here, we are in 4/4 time, we need to have 4 counts, 4 beats. And we know that this number 4 is the value of the note that gets a beat. A 4 symbolizes a quarter note. Again, we will dive into this in a future video, but what this actually means is that if you're in 4/4 time and you have a measure, you need 4 quarter notes. These don't look like quarter notes like I had in the prior measure, so we're going to do a little bit of cosmetic work. Okay, there we have our little stems on there, and then we are going to fill these in. There we go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm drawing 4 quarter notes in this measure. This looks like measure 2 the way I have it written. And we are now in compliance with our time signature. We have successfully written 4 quarter notes. So we are in agreement with this bottom number. We have 4 quarter notes. Quarter notes are the ones that get the beat. And we are in accordance with this top number, that we have 4 beats per measure. It is more complicated than this, but not very. This is the basic idea, and we're going to talk more about this in the next video. So thanks for watching, and stick around for the next part of Clef Notes. Bye-bye.